Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Teen Book Tuesday. My name is Lorie, and I'm the teen librarian at Manlius Library, and I'm coming to you today from my living room, and I have a stack of brand new books that I can't wait to delve into and see what we've got. Hopefully, everybody will find something they want to read. We're going to start with the latest in the Disney's Twisted Tale series. This one is called Go the Distance by Jen Kalanita, and this is a twisted Hercules tale. The tagline is, "What if Meg had to become a Greek god?" After Hercules proves he's a true hero and regains his godhood, all seems right in the world. That is, until Zeus tells Megara that she can't be with Hercules because she's mortal. Luckily, Hera has a solution, offering Meg a chance to prove herself worthy of a spot on Mount Olympus as a god. All Meg has to do is complete a mysterious quest. The quest? Oh, just to rescue her ex-boyfriend's wife from the underworld? The ex-boyfriend she saved by selling her soul to Hades? The ex-boyfriend who immediately moved on to someone else while Meg was stuck in the underworld? Can Meg put her past behind her and use her quick wit to defeat monsters and gods alike, including the nefarious Hades? Will she finally figure out where she belongs and what she has to offer? Or will her fear of commitment have her running away from an eternity of godhood with Herc? So that is Go the Distance, A Twisted Tale by Jen Kalanita. And if you're not familiar with this series, it's really fun. There's all of the Disney movies have been twisted into different tales about the protagonists. And this one happens to be about the Hercules movie. There's The Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast and Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty and Maleficent. There's tons of them, and they're all written by different authors, and they're all really fabulous. So highly recommended. Go the Distance. This one is Yesterday is History by Cosico Jackson. And there's the cover. That's a fun cover. A little less than 24 hours ago, you did something extraordinary. Something you might not understand, might want to think was a dream or can't explain. I'm here to tell you what happened to you did actually happen. You did jump through time, and you are, for all intents and purposes, a time traveler. Interesting. Andre Cobb is ready for his life to finally begin. Weeks ago, he received a much-needed liver transplant, and now he can focus on his future. Except one night, he starts to feel shaky and ill, passes out, and wakes up somewhere totally unexpected. The past. Apparently, Andre's new liver came with some side effects of the time travel variety. His new ability transports him to 1969, where he connects with Michael, the boy who lived in his house 50 years ago. And then, just as suddenly as he arrived, he slips in time back to the present day, where the family of his liver donor is waiting to explain the ins and outs of time travel. They task their youngest son, Blake, with teaching Andre how to use this unexpected gift. Andre splits his time bouncing between the past and the present, between Michael and Blake. Michael is everything Andre wishes he could be, free-spirited, passionate, and open to everything. And Blake, still reeling from the death of his brother, keeps him at arm's length despite their obvious attraction to one another. Torn between two boys, one in the past and one in the present, Andre has to figure out where he belongs, and more importantly, who he wants to be, before the consequences of jumping in time catch up to him and change his future for good. That's called Yesterday is History, and the author is Cosico Jackson. And this is his first novel. This is a debut. It came highly recommended and very highly reviewed, and it just sounds kind of fascinating. A little bit of historical fiction, a little bit of realistic fiction, mixed in with some time travel, coming of age, figuring out who you are, who you want to be. Very good. Oh, This one I've been waiting for a long time. And I say that every time I hear one of his books is coming out. The author is Neal Shusterman. You may recognize him from the Scythe series or Dry, which was one of my personal favorite dystopian disaster books about when water is gone. There's no more water on Earth. This one is a little different. It's called Game Changer. There's the cover. There are infinite ways to do the wrong thing. I was tired, that's all. Tired and wired from a long day. It would all make sense tomorrow. It would pass. And in the morning, I'd realize everyone was right. Stop signs had always been blue. And I must have been serious tweaked to think otherwise. This one isn't about time travel, but it is about making choices. As a tackle on his high school football team, Ash is used to taking some hard hits. But that one run in his last game must have knocked him a little loose, because suddenly his life doesn't look quite the way he remembers it. Almost like he's in another dimension. Though these changes start small, soon Ash ends up in a totally new universe, in totally new universes that are almost, but not really his own. Living in perspectives he's never had to consider before. As Ash tries to figure out how to put his world back the way it was, he begins to question the world he thinks he knows, and his own place in it. With masterful prose and powerful empathy, National Book Award-winning author Neal Shusterman weaves an affecting tale for our time about how difficult and how necessary it is to see through one another's eyes. So that is, it's kind of it's a science fiction. I mean, multi-dimensional travel. But it's also realistic fiction, and it's got some social commentary in it. Neal Shusterman is a fabulous author. Highly recommended, and I haven't even read it yet. But I will be. So that's Game Changer. Next up, Like Home by Louisa Onome. And this is also a debut. Chinello, or Nello, as her best friend Kate calls her, is all about her neighborhood, Ginger East. She loves its chill vibe, its ride-or-die sense of community, and her memories of growing up there. But Ginger East isn't what it used to be. After a deadly incident at the local arcade, all of her closest friends moved away except for Kate. But as long as they have each other, Nello's good. Only Kate's parents' corner store is vandalized, leaving Nello shaken to her core. The police and the media are quick to point fingers, and soon more of the outside world descends on Ginger East with promises to fix it. Suddenly, Nello finds herself in the middle of a drama unfolding on a national scale. Worse yet, Kate is acting strange. She's pushing Nello away at the exact moment they need each other the most. Nello's entire world is morphing into something she hates, and she must figure out how to get it all back on track or risk losing everything and everyone she loves. This is realistic fiction, and it's Like Home by Louisa Onome. And it really is an examination of friends and growing up together and neighborhood and community and that feeling that we all have and how hard it is sometimes to keep it. So, Like Home. This is another one I've been waiting for. I have fallen in love with this series. It's called Lady Slayers, and they are historical fiction, horror, but historical fiction about famous female murderers, really. This one's called Poison Priestess. Will their first sip be their last? And the author is Lana Popovic. In 17th century Paris, it's like I said, historical fiction, 19-year-old Catherine Monvoisin is a well-heeled jeweler's wife with a peculiar taste for the arcane. She lives a comfortable life, far removed from a childhood of abject destitution, until her kind spendthrift of a husband lands them both in debt. Hell-bent on avoiding a return to poverty, Catherine must rely on her prophetic visions and the grimoire gifted to her by a talented diviner to reinvent herself as a sorceress. With the help of a grifter, Marie Boss, Catherine divines fortunes in the Ile de Cité, home to sorcerers and scoundrels. There she encounters the Marquise de Montespan, a stunning noblewoman. When the Marquise becomes Louis XIV's royal mistress with Catherine's help, her ascension catapults Catherine to notoriety. Catherine takes easily to her glittering new life as the sorceress La Voisin, pitting the depraved noblesse against one another to her advantage. The stakes soar ever higher when her paths cross that of a young magician. A charged rivalry between sorceress and magician leads to black masses, tangled deceptions, and grisly murder, and sets Catherine on a collision course that threatens her own life. So this one is a bit of a fantasy, a bit of a supernatural historical fiction. Lana Popovich has written several really good horror, strong female-based horror, like Blood Countess, Wicked Like a Wildfire, Fierce Like a Firestorm, and Blood Countess was fabulous. This is Poison Priestess, and it's one of the Lady Slayers novels. Highly recommended. And like really quick reads. They're a lot of, well, fun if you like that kind of thing. But they're really quick reads. One more. I've got one more for you. It's realistic fiction, but it's also a romance. And it's called Happily Ever Afters. It's such a fun cover. And the author is Elise Bryant, and this is her debut novel. 16-year-old Tessa Johnson has never felt like the protagonist in her own life. She's rarely seen herself reflected in the pages of the romance novels she loves. The only place she's a true leading lady is in her own writing. In the swoony love stories she shares only with Caroline, her best friend. When Tessa is accepted into the writing program of a prestigious art school, she's excited to finally let her story shine. But when she goes to her first workshop, the words are gone. Fortunately, Caroline has a solution. Tessa just needs to find some inspiration in a real-life love story of her own. And she's ready with a list of romance novel-inspired steps to happily ever after. Nico, the brooding artist who looks like he walked out of one of Tessa's stories, is cast as the perfect Prince Charming. But as Tessa checks off each item on the list, she gets further away from herself. She risks losing everything she cares about, including the surprising bond she develops with sweet Sam, who lives across the street. She's on her way to having her own real-life love story. But is it the one she wants after all? This one is really highly reviewed as just a fun romance, great for summer, very inclusive, romantic, lighthearted, happily ever afters by Elise Bryant. So there you go. You got 6 brand new books from in the teen room. I hope you found something that you'd like to read. I know I certainly did. And if you did, pop over to our website at manliuslibrary.org and put it on hold. You can come in and get it, or we can arrange a curbside service. There's some great stuff coming in starting for summer reading, and we are building a fabulous summer reading program for this year. So stay tuned for more information about that. Thanks for joining me today. I will see you next week. You can find me here on our YouTube channel every single Tuesday at 4 o'clock for more book suggestions, book talks, and other YA bookish news. Have a great week. I'll see you next time. Happy reading.